So it's your girl Frankie here, and today I'm bringing you kind of like a short video, but I don't know. I'm driving. I'm on my way to somewhere, so I'm gonna try not to make it too long. But I survived my first year of nursing, and I just kind of want to tell you guys all about it. Kind of the things that they can't prepare you for, and some of the things that you just kind of gotta wing it and learn it on your own. As crazy as that sounds, because when you're in school, they make everything just sound so uniformed and textbook and this and that, and I don't know. Like, if you're in nursing school, then you absolutely know what I'm talking about. If you graduated and you've been a nurse, you know what I'm talking about. But one of the things that they do not prepare you for is that when you get out on the floor or when you start working, the stuff that they talk in the textbook, like, the people in the facilities do the opposite things. Now, I've done a lot of long-term care. That's mostly the experience that I have, is working in like nursing homes and assisted living and things like that. So this is not speaking as far as like the hospitals. If you work at like a hospital or something like that, that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm sure it's pretty much the same. But so what they did not, kind of the things that kind of shocked me. Well, not really shocked me, because one of my teachers kind of warned us, like, hey, when you get out on in the field, they're going to do things a little different than what you see in the textbook. That is absolutely true. When you get out in the field, they have their own little shortcuts, their own things that you do. Now, one advice that I do have for you is that if you are a new graduate, which I started working as soon as I graduated, I started working. Literally, I started working. Yeah. So I haven't even took my NCLEX yet. I was still kind of studying, preparing to take my NCLEX. So when I started working, it was a lot of things that they did on the floor that was not textbook. Okay. So you have to differentiate. I feel like I said that so wrong. You have to separate the textbook from what you're actually working. So a lot of people do not recommend that you start working as soon as you graduate, as a new graduate, without taking the NCLEX first, because the NCLEX is really textbook. Okay, that's NCLEX. It's textbook. When you're working in the field, sometimes you can bring your related experience from what you've learned on your job as a new nurse and take it into NCLEX. So when you get them questions, you're like, oh, I had this situation happen while I was at work, so I'm going to do this, because this is what we did at work. No, that's an absolutely wrong thing to do. Do not do that. So if you can, try not to work right away unless you have to work. Try to just study and take your NCLEX first and then start working. Because if you are easily confused, it will confuse the crap out of you when you start taking the NCLEX. And when you're looking at some questions, because you want to bring your personal experience into the work, from your work experience and with the NCLEX, and it's just too confusing. So that's the one thing that I definitely want to bring up. Do not work if you don't have to. Try to take your NCLEX first and then start working. Okay. Another thing that they did not prepare me for, I don't think they can prepare anybody for, is attitude. And I know that's like, what? Because you're a new nurse, you're thriving, you're excited, you want to learn, and you get in this field, and you'll be surprised at how mean these nurses can be. And when I say mean, I mean like, don't give up, like, mean. And I'm not even talking about the young generation of nurses, like the newer nurses, the nurses been nurses for under 5 years. No, I'm talking about these veteran nurses. They can be really mean, really snappy, don't want to help. And I think the first time it happened to me, my feelings was very hurt, because I'm just like, wow, I just want to learn, and they were not trying to help. If you need help, they like half answer you, or they won't answer you, or like, it was, I don't think no one can prepare a new nurse for that, because you're so ambitious and it's so new to you. To them, they've been doing it a very long time. A lot of them are not good teachers. A lot of them do not like orientating new nurses. So you just have to be aware of that and try not to let it get to you, if that makes sense. Try not to let it get to you like that, because, you know, and it's hard because you don't know everything, and when you get on the field, it's like you feel like, okay, I don't know it, so I'm gonna ask a question, because that's what they teach you, is to ask questions. Well, they will make you feel like you're dumb. They will make you feel like, oh, you should know that. You should have learned that in school. How do you not know that? Like, so then it would discourage you from asking questions. The next thing you know, management pulling you to the office saying, oh, well, why you didn't do this, or why was this not completed? Sorry, I got my email. You know, things like that. So don't let that discourage you guys. Just ask questions if you can. Ask as many questions as possible. I don't care what they say. If you are feeling uncomfortable with that particular nurse, then, you know, you really don't want to bring any turmoil or negativity to your work environment. So you know, that's another thing that they can't prepare you for, because in the nursing field, you don't know who knows who. Sorry, I'm trying to see the directions, y'all. Y'all gotta give me a second. I'm trying to get somewhere. You really don't know who knows who. So, say for instance, which I run across a lot, if you go to management or the director of nursing and you say, hey, this nurse, you know, she was very mean to me, you know, I would rather orientate with somebody else. Well, you don't know. That DON or that management may be friends with that person or know that person, so they'll go back and tell that person, and then now your orientee is being really mean to you, and it just causes a lot of problems. So what I advise you to do is to, depending on the level of meanness that nurse is giving you, then stick it out. Just go and do your orientation. Just do what you got to do, and just get done with orientation so you can be on your own. If it's really that bad and you feel very, very uncomfortable and you're just not for it, honey, then find a new job, because you're a nurse. Nursing jobs like everywhere. So I say find a new job. I would not put myself through the headache and emotional trauma, whatever. Just get a new job. Just move on. Okay, move on. Ask your school friends if they're working. Where do you work at? You know, network, and you know, go somewhere else, because they can't really prepare you for that. I think that's one of the biggest things that I believe was something they cannot prepare you for, because you can't be prepared on somebody's attitude. Like, you can't be prepared, you know, like, that's just something you can't be prepared for, is people having attitudes and things like that. That's something that your instructors can't prepare you for, the job can't prepare you for. Another thing I will say within my first year that I've learned is, me being fairly young, you have CNAs that are older than you, that's been doing this longer than you, that's been working there for 25 years, and you're going to most likely have to stand your ground, and you're going to have to delegate, unfortunately. So that's part of being a nurse, is delegation. So you're going to have to delegate, and when you delegate, not every CNA is going to like it, and they're not going to want to respect that. They're not going to want to respect you, and you have to learn, like, what type of nurse you are. Me, I'm a fairly cool, laid-back nurse. I'm not into the conflict, to be honest. I'm not into the drama. I'd rather just stay out of all of that. But also, you have to be like, I'm not going to tolerate certain things. So if I delegate something to a CNA and she's refusing, you know, that's basically refusing care. You know, then you have to do your part as a nurse, and it's going to be very uncomfortable the first time you have to, like, write somebody up or send somebody home, or, you know, and of course they're probably not going to like you the next day they come in or whatever. But those are things that just come with the job, and not everybody is mature. Not everybody, you know, is going to respond the same. So you just have to be prepared for that, because that's something that they can't teach you at school. They can't teach you how somebody's going to respond to you. They can't teach you that stuff. Another thing that school will go through is like therapeutic communication and things like that with patients and family. Honey, you have them family members that will try to, excuse my language, but beat your ass in their room. I am not kidding you. You will get in their room. They will be mad about something else, or mad because the CNA didn't change their loved one the right way, or they didn't take care of their loved one's been wet all day, and you just got to work, so you literally haven't even been there. You could have been off for 5 days, and you come back to work, and that family member, they will take all of their anger out on you. And you have to learn to just kind of keep it mellow. You can't get crunk with them. Like, you can't go, I know it's going to be so hard because sometimes they call you names. They will call you out your name. They will, like, threaten you. It's things like that, and you definitely have to report that to management. But if it gets too hostile, you always can call the police, your local district police and things like that, and have them escorted out. But definitely don't take a lot of verbal abuse and things like that. But try not to just go back and forth, because that's not going to be healthy for anybody. Nothing's going to get solved. Usually in those situations, I just say, well, I do apologize. We will definitely take care of whatever it is that they're upset about. If it's something that we can't do that has something to do with admissions or upper management, then all you can do is say, hey, I will pass that information along, or hey, can you write down your concerns, and I will make sure I get that to them for them to give you a call and things like that, or they'll be in the office at this time Monday, because a lot of things happen on the weekend when the upper management is just not even in the building. So you just kind of want to try to mellow that out. But of course, the first time it happens to you, you're really not going to know how to respond. I don't think, the things that I'm telling you guys is school cannot prepare you for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff like real world experience. Like, when you get your best learning from your experience, that is absolutely true. So it makes sense that a lot of jobs would like you to have, a year of experience or 2 years of experience. Well, it makes sense because all of these things that's happening, unless it has happened to you before, you're not going to get that experience. So, I just say stick with it, find out who you are, what type of nurse you're going to be. You're going to run into nurses, like I said, that are very mean, that just don't care. You're going to find nurses that are lazy, okay, because you're a new nurse, so you're excited, you're ready to do this, this, and this. Well, you're going to find them nurses that's like, oh, I'm not going to give them their medication today, I'm not going to do this. You're going to run into nurses that's still in medication, that's still in narcotic pills, that's taking narcotic pills. You're going to be like, oh my God, why are they looking like they're on drugs? And of course, you just need to report all of that up to management. Please don't take it into your own hands and try to confront anybody or any worker in regards to stealing narcotics and things like that. That is not your place. That is not your job. Just report it to management and you keep it moving and going about your business, okay? That's my advice for that. Go about your business. Report what you need to report that's illegal, and you go about your business, because once you report it, it's now on that management to take care of that. It's no longer your responsibility. You just need to report it, okay? For abuse, you would be surprised how many CNAs or nurses are very verbally and physically abusive to residents or patients. Like I said, you need to report that. You need to let management know about that so they can do their own investigation about that. Do not get caught up in all of that. Just report it and keep it moving. Another thing that they cannot prepare you for, that baby, when I say I was going to quit like 1,000 times, I'm not lying to y'all, I was going to quit 1,000 times, is that you're a new nurse, you start a new job, and they say, oh, they make everything sound so good in orientation. You're like, oh, great, I'm going to love this job. You get on the floor, you're like, oh, yeah, they're going to give me, 5 days of orientation or a week or 2 weeks of orientation. So you're prepared. You're ready to do your orientation. And then you get to work and there's no nurse and they throw you by yourself. Uncomfortable. Or they say, oh, you should know what you're doing. And they just throw you out of orientation within like 2 days of orientation, and all of a sudden you're on the schedule for by yourself. You need to let them know you don't feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, you let them know. You don't take no keys. You don't get no report. When you get to work and you see that you've only been in orientation for 2 days and you get there and they done took you out of orientation and they just threw you on the floor and just expect you to know exactly what you're doing as a new nurse, do not accept that assignment. I'm telling you, if you do, unless you really feel confident that you got this. But as a new nurse, I've never done it before. I've never done nursing before. Yeah, I've done some CNA work and things like that. That's completely different from nursing. So if you've never done it, do not take them keys, honey. Do not let them bully you into being on the floor by yourself. Because, honey, you will be surprised how many things can go wrong in that shift, or how many things you think is going wrong, or that you did not do proper protocol for, because you're a new nurse. You're still learning their policy. You're still learning their how they do things. You're still learning the patients. You're learning the patient's family. You're learning where everything is still located at. You still are learning that facility or that place. So do not let them do that to you. No money is always good money. So do not let them do that to you, because soon as something goes wrong, you know who's going to get thrown under the bus. You know who's going to be in trouble. Whose license going to be in jeopardy. Who is going to be under fire. It is going to be you, honey. So do not let them do that to you. It's plenty of times I was like, no, I'm going to go home. Like, I'm not doing that. No. Y'all told me orientation that I would get this many days of orientation. I've only had 2, and no, I will not do that. And then you also will have nurses that will refuse to orientate you, and not because they don't like you or because it's something you did. It's just because they don't want to orientate. They probably do some stuff they don't even supposed to be doing. So why would they want somebody following them, watching what they do? Because then they have to do it right or do it by the book. And then some people are just not good orientation people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't know how to explain things the right way. Yeah, they good at doing it, but they might not be good at, like, explaining what exactly they're doing. So just don't try to take that personal if they refuse to orientate you and things like that. Don't take it personal. But yeah, definitely draw your line somewhere. Do not let them just throw you on the floor. And you'll be surprised, a lot of facilities will do that. If you're going into long-term care, especially working with the elderly population in these nursing homes and things like that, they will throw you out there in a heartbeat, honey. You lucky if you get 1 day of orientation and they will scoot your butt right on up out of there. Okay, so do what makes you feel comfortable. Do not let them pressure you into doing things that you don't want to do. So I'm trying to think if there anything else, because I'm sure it's a long list of things, but I think I hit mostly the main points when it comes to being a new nurse. Those are things that I learned. Yes, I wanted to quit a lot of times, and it's some jobs I did quit. Like, I didn't even tell them. I think it was one job. It was so bad in there. The residence was so bad. It was just nothing I would have put my loved one at. It was horrible. And I just did not go back. I don't recommend you do that, but, I just simply didn't go back. Like, they threw me on the floor, like, the second day. Like, I think I got, like, 1 day orientation. They threw me on the floor. And I told them I'm not doing it. So I didn't go back, because I see what type of facility it was and how they treated their employees. And it's not something that I was okay with. So I just didn't go back. I'm just going to be very, very honest. I didn't feel comfortable there. I just didn't go back. I'm not losing my life. I worked too hard to get my license to lose it in 1 day. So, no, my license come first. Everything else going to come second, because I worked too hard for this license. So, no. So, yeah. So, that's kind of like the things, like I said, they cannot prepare you for. I'm just letting you know. So, if these things do arise, please don't be shocked. You're going to get frazzled. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get emotional. You're going, like, when I say you're going to go through all of your emotions, you're going to go through all of your emotions in your first year. Probably in your second and third year, but your first year especially, because you don't have any of that experience or any of the situations happen to you. Before I go, a lot of, when you do your orientation, a lot of the nurses that orientate you, not even a lot, I'm not going to say a lot, some of the nurses that orientate you, they may want you to do all the work. Now, if it's your third or fourth day of orientation, then okay, I can see them kind of letting you kind of take over, kind of like learning how to do it yourself. That's understandable. But your first day of orientation, they'll be like, oh, here's the keys. Oh, just go do this, go do that. Like, they don't want to get up and do anything. They want to set you up. One time I was at orientation, the nurse did not want to call a particular doctor, and so she was like, oh, you know, you can do it, he's cool, you know, just read this off the paper, and I'll be right here to help you. And you know, as a new nurse, you're like, oh yeah, okay, well, you know, I am learning, you know, I'm gonna have to do this eventually, so why not go ahead and start? So of course, you know, I called the doctor, and that doctor was mean as hell, y'all. Like, mean as hell. And the nurse was nowhere to be found. So I'm like looking for her. She's like all in the med room, which is a you know, a locked room. She's in there. She done came out, then walking down the hall. This man on the phone. I'm like, ooh. And so for whatever reason, you know, because doctors, a lot of them talk fast. They don't have time, and they're gonna hang up. And that's the reality of it. So I was trying my best to get the order of what I needed to get. I asked them again, you know, and I thought I had it right. I did not have it right. So when we sent it over to pharmacy called and was like, hey, this order is not right. This is some. This is for this type of route, and da-da-da. So at that point, you know, I had to call the doctor back. So it was uncomfortable. I felt like at that point that the, you know, seasoned nurse that's been there, that's orientating me, she should have went on and took that and called the doctor back and said, hey, you know, we got to mix up on this. I just want to verify, clarify, whatever. No, she was like, oh, you got to call the doctor back. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, you know, I'm already telling her I don't feel comfortable. She's like, well, let me just try to look up and see what it could be, what the medication he could have said. And she looked through the book like, well, do you think it was this? Do you think it was this? And it was just all wrong. Like, it was just, you don't ever want to guess what the medication a doctor is trying to prescribe. Don't ever guess. Don't ever say, oh, I think I heard him say this, or I think he said it was this. Don't ever do that. You want to get the correct order. Do not make up your own medication. And that's what she was trying to do, because she did not want to call the doctor. Like, she didn't even want to call him. But I ended up calling him back, and the doctor went off on me like no other. When I say, he was like, you need to learn this, you need to go back to school, you need to do this, you need to get a book and read from front to cut. Like, he went off on me. And those are the first time ever. And I was like that. I didn't show it, but on the inside, I wanted to cry. Like, I felt this little. And doctors will make you feel that way. And, you know, and you're a new nurse. They don't know you're a new nurse. Honestly, they probably don't even care if you're a new nurse. If you're working, they feel like you should be knowing something. You know what I'm saying? So, don't take it personal, guys. And you're going to run across a lot of mean doctors. You're going to run across, you know, and doctors, they don't have time. They have a lot of patience. They don't have time to be sitting up here explaining it and spelling out every single thing to you. They expect you to know and just to write it down. So just be aware of mean doctors. Yeah. So pretty much that kind of sums up my random little talk with you guys of surviving my first year of nursing. I absolutely love what I do. Don't get me wrong, but those are the things that school just could not prepare me for when it came to nursing. I'm gonna be honest. They couldn't prepare me for that. It's a lot of things that just made me be like, did I pick the right field? Am I in the right field? Like, maybe I should do something else. Don't let none of that discourage you guys. And eventually you'll find a job that works for you. But don't stick out anywhere that's been abusive to you or not treating you right. Just like a relationship. You know, you get into this place. If you feel like they don't treat the employees right, they don't treat you right, they're not paying you what you want to be paid, then, honey, move on. Move on from that place. You go somewhere else until you find that right place for you, that you actually enjoy working and, you know, and get along with everybody. If you guys have any questions for me, definitely comment them down below. You know, because, hey, we're all learning, and being a nurse is not easy. You're responsible for a lot of things. and a lot of people look to you to know the answer, and I think that's a lot of pressure. So definitely stick it out, hang in there, try different things, try different tactics, try different, things like that. But you'll get it, and you're going to have weak areas, you're going to have strong areas. Just try to get stronger in your weaker areas. But other than that, you'll be fine. But yeah, so I'm just encouraging you, all of my new nurses, to hang in there. Please don't let these situations or people get to you on that level. It's hard, but hey, keep your composure, and get through your day. And just stick it out, because you are awesome. You're an amazing nurse, and don't let anyone try to tell you that you're not, and that you don't know how to do your job, because you're still learning, and nobody's perfect. Even nurses that's been nurses for 25, 30 years, they still have times where they don't even know the answer, or they don't even know what to do. So hang in there, and just practice safe nursing, and just try to be the best nurse that you can be, and don't let no one discourage you. Okay, so that's all for my video today. A little bit different for you guys, but I just had to bring it to you. Like I said, definitely subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. If you like these type of nursing videos or me talking about it, then let me know. I'm not one to really talk about a lot of nursing. I'm more natural hair, but this is the field that I'm in. So if you have questions or a certain video you want to see or certain things, let me know. I will definitely do that for you. Definitely check out Facesbf. I will put her channel link down below. She is amazing. She goes through a lot more detailed stuff and classes and things like that. I did orientate with her before, and she is amazing. That's why I can give a good reference for her, because she is amazing. She knows her stuff. She's so friendly and so open, and she is amazing. So definitely check her out. She has a lot of knowledge. She's very, very knowledgeable. So other than that, that's it, y'all. That's it for this video. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Yes, I did park to finish talking, because I was talking a lot, and I couldn't be driving like that. Nobody trying to get in no accidents. So that's it, y'all. So I will see you next time in my next video. Peace.